I meant to catch a lot because I got to holler at you in a minute, man. Because I got family who love it out there. He might be related to, man. I think I know this brother.
Who's that?
You know,
Jerome. Okay.
Charles Coleman, man. Love because he married Janice.
Yeah.
That's my sister-in-law. Yeah, that's my sister-in-law.
Really?
My oldest brother, man. Yeah, Charles is my brother.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
I saw that word, man. You said Forest City, love it. I made that connection. I was like, that's got to be the same people.
Yeah, that's us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Shantae, Buddha, all them. Yeah, them people. I know them.
Okay.
That's
it
family,
says
man.
King Tut's on the panel.
I'm putting them in. Go ahead. Start it off.
All right. Well, we're back again. We're going to continue what we started on the last time. As always, I do my disclaimer. That which we talk about is strictly our opinions. Please don't believe anything that we say. Research it for yourself. Find out for yourself. Find truth for yourself. When we discuss and chop it, politic, like I said, feel free to put your comments on there. Feel free. We got Ted on, yeah.
Ted on.
But
I'm in here.
All right, y'all. Yo, this is the three-headed monster.
So we got the three-headed monster. So I'm gonna let everybody introduce themselves. Go ahead, B. I started off with you.
Yo, this is Brother Brian, SB, that Silverback, representing. You know, I'm always in Philly, but I'm still always gonna represent Gaffney. But just wanted to do a part 2 of what we did from last week. I mean, not last week, but on Monday. The vibe was so good, that the energy, the frequency that we was on. We want to continue this conversation, but we adding King Tut and we add my boy Jeff Coleman into this mix, and you know we just gonna politic. We gonna get real with this, and we just gonna be just our opinions. Okay, again, this is our opinions. Don't be offended. If you're offended, stop being a pussy. But nah, we just keeping it real, man, because this is grown man talk, and that's the problem. And everything is everybody's so sensitive. So you know how we do. But I do appreciate the love. I do want to give my shout outs to all the people that's all on the front line, the ones, the doctors, the nurses, firemen, everybody that's putting their lives out on for the coronavirus. So we do appreciate you from the three-headed monster. But Tut, come on, man. Get in, man.
Yeah, King Tut in the building, man. Representing the South as always. Peace and love to everybody. You know, peace and love to all my likes, all my peoples across the globe. You know, life is hard, man. We fighting a lot of wars here now. You know, we fighting coronavirus. We still got to dodge police officers. You know, we fighting. They got there's killer bees now, supposedly. So war is on, black man. I mean, if you ain't realizing the stand now, you know, this is a perfect timing for a lot of people to be hibernating and growing, you know. So I mean, I look at the glass half full, man. It's like I said before, man, this is the great cleansing. We're gonna see who come up out of this. You know, I felt a little off myself. We're gonna see who come up out of this. You know, this is time for diamonds to get polished. You know what I mean?
Oh, we went with that.
Okay, now.
All right, go ahead, Jeff. Introduce everybody. Tell everybody who you are.
Oh man, Jeff Coleman, man, West End, USA, man. That's why I tell everybody where I'm from, man. They know I'm from. That's it. I'm happy to be here, man. I appreciate y'all, brothers. Like I know all y'all, man, and because you know I asked you about Tut, man, because you know all of us got, you know, especially the Gaffney boys got history, man, and I just found out that my other brother here, you know, we got history, got family connections, and such. So it's I'm just glad to be here amongst, you know, brothers that, you know, everybody doesn't have, and I actually prefer when people don't think the exact same thing, and you can chop up ideas and talk about things. And that I hate to use the cliche, but iron sharpens iron, but it's for real. It's like, sometimes you have to go through rough conversations and situations to really see what you're about and come out on the other end. Tut just said something like this whole situation really, because people, you gonna come out of it one way or the other. You're gonna come out with some atrophy, or you're gonna come out with yourself built strong. You got time to read. You got time to. You can still exit. You can do whatever. There's nothing that you can't do right now that you could do before. It's whether you want to do it or not. You find a way to do it. So people gonna come out of this thing, and you really gonna see what people are about. Because like for me, I've been strengthening. I've been reading, doing my research. I've been using my time wisely. I'm not gonna look up and this thing, it's like it's over with, and it's like I could have done so much more. I'm trying to maximize my time in this situation to come out, because I know other people aren't. So I'm trying to get that advantage, and trying to build and strengthen myself, my family, my people that I talk to, and everybody, and try to tell them the same thing. So that's just what that's about. So I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, that what's up. What's up? All right, fellas. Well, let's go in. All right. All right. Since me and my man Ant and Jerome already got into it, I'm gonna go ahead and start with. But since you already, Jeff, what is the black man's role in America? I just want your opinion on what you think it is.
And so I know, and I purposely didn't ask you this question yesterday when it came up, but from what perspective do you want to hear that from? Because we have, a bunch of different roles. It depends on what you're talking about.
No, and that's what we hear. We just let it go.
Well, I for one thing, I feel like, and I see just a resurgence of it. Just understand, for what we don't understand who we are as a people. First of all, you can't understand your role in something if you don't know who and what you really are. Like a couple weeks ago, I started talking about, I do this thing, and we did it, with food, with Motherland on Mondays. It's like I noticed we eat Chinese food, we eat Italian, we do all this other stuff, and we don't even really know or appreciate who and what we are. So that's me where I am right. I'm still like going back and just understanding, what I am and who we are, so I can just really insert myself into this situation that we're in right now. So our place is I think we still are on the journey of finding ourselves. We need to do that first, so we can know how to better place ourselves in society, because we get so torn up, and we're not unified the way we should be when something goes wrong, or being proactive and keeping something from going wrong. And a lot of that just goes back to how we've been separated since we got here. So that's one of the things. That's the first thing. There's a long line of things I have, but that's one of the biggest things that I see right there.
All right. Tut, go in, Tut. Do you, Tut?
I agree with Jeff, man. There's many angles, so many angles we can hit, from that. I'm gonna expound on it a little further. You want to know the black man's role here in America, which should ultimately be the black man's role globally. You know what I'm saying? So our intentions here in America should be going global, to where we're wanting to encompass the world now into under our wing, because that's our nature. We was here civilizing the world, from the rip, from the beginning. We gave you civilization,
Yes, sir.
We've been here at the bottom, so we gave you our hand here at the bottom. So our role is knowing the whole circle of things, the role of knowing our history as being kings, the role of knowing our history as being in servitude, you know what I'm saying, in forcible servitude, knowing this full circle of things. I think our role comes from knowing that full circle and being able to produce a future that's conducive to us as a people. We got a heavy influence. okay, for example, I made this point a lot of times, and I don't think a lot of people, really take heed to it. But this government, this bureaucracy we created this, and the only way we gonna change something is if we start filling these seats up, ourselves, because like everybody say, rock the vote, well, who we voting for? We ain't voting for nobody that's gonna help us as a people. So I think the role as the black man should be raising our seeds up, raising our communities up to where we're getting these seats. We're getting these seats, and we're changing these laws, and we're making these laws and making this way of living better for us as a people. So, I mean, our role, I think, a lot of us men, we face pitfalls, and shortcomings, but the youth is the future. So we should be influencing the youth to get in these seats, man. I mean, everybody is a minority. You got the majority is roughly, you got governmental workers, roughly 600-700 governmental elected officials. You know what I mean? You got 300 million people in America. Everybody's a freaking minority, So unless we get some seats that are dictating these laws, and that is ultimately governing how we live, if that ain't our role, then what we doing it for?
Great points, man.
All right, who else? Which one y'all gonna go in? Either Jerome or
Go ahead, Jerome. I'm hey man, go ahead, man.
go ahead, Jerome.
Nah, you a guest.
No, I'm saying, I mean, Jeff and Tut on to something, man. I just can kind of reiterate or just concur with what he's saying, man. I mean, yo, we just got to do, as the brother said, man, we got to take our rightful role in this country, man. We have built this shit. So, rightfully so, we do what we do. And as Tut was talking about, man, we got to get the people in these seats, man. We got to get our peoples in these seats, man, so we can make some serious decisions, man, and make some serious laws that can change a lot of this shit that's going on, man. We got to challenge the status quo, man. So many years, man, this has been going on. We've been bypassed so many years when it comes to this. But we got to have some brave men and women that's willing to take that mantle up, man, and what I'm saying, and help lead the way when it comes to that. But it's gonna take us to be the ones that actually make that happen, man. We have to lead the way, man. We got to be the example, because as Tut alluded to, our kids, man, our nephews, our nieces, grandkids, all that shit are looking at us, man, to make this world better for them, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to do our just do by making it a lot better for the next generation, man. They shouldn't have to go through what we're going through. That young man that just got killed, or not just get killed, back in February, hey, come on, man. That has to stop, man. That has to stop, but it's on us to make that situation start happening like that. The black woman gonna be out there. The black woman gonna be out there because she's the black woman. She's the mother. Well, where the black men at?
So
Are we doing what we're supposed to do, man, to help lead the situation, man? So that's my take on it, man.
And I want to, well said, I want to add something, kind of jumping off what Tut was talking about, because, we're talking about, you got voting and you got who you're voting for. And we all know that, for one, it's important with this election, because especially if the Democrats going to win, they're not going to win without the black vote. We already know that. But I know some people, talking about lower, getting past the president and talking about state level, local,
Right,
things of that nature. We need more people that looks like us and connect with us. I always say, people, I've seen all of us push, like, we need to vote. But I see why people are disconnected with, sometimes they don't want to vote because it's not somebody they can relate with, somebody they can connect with, and somebody that look like us or think like us or been through what we've been through. And that gets to the point where Ted just said, the people that are coming up behind us. Because a lot of us, even me, being 44, we're getting to that point to where you can always advise people, but you really getting too old to be on the front lines and stuff. And when people talk about, like, the millennial people, we love to pick on the millennials and the younger generation. about what they don't do. But what I always ask people is, who raised them? Like, we're the ones who raised them. So it's our, whatever shortcomings they have, we're partially to blame for that.
Right.
Because we're not raising them right. So we have to, and just to touch on, just to answer the question of, what's the black man's role? One of our roles is to raise these young men and women better, to do better than what we've been doing, or to what we're sitting in a position of what we're all wise now. We've made mistakes. We've done it the right way, seen things to do it. We know what should be done, but these young people got the energy to do it. They got the time to do it. They're in a better position, but they need elders and people to put them in position to be what we see they need to be. And one of the things is we need to do a better job of raising the generations that's under us, instead of constantly criticizing and telling them what they're doing wrong. But we don't do a good job of following up of, well, here's how to do it, but connecting with them so we can get these people to bring that to the people that we're voting for, like this young brother in South Carolina that's running against Lindsey Graham. Like, you got people that's out there running. Like, we need more people like that. When you're talking about, like, what is the government and whatever it's going to do for black people, until you get some black people or some people that have shown true concern about black people and for what we need and what we've gone through to really earn that vote, instead of voting for them to get someone else out of office, then I think we'll be, in a better situation.
Yes, sir.
We just lost Jerome. He coming back. All right. Well, I tell you what. I mean, y'all making good points. I mean, y'all making some strong points. Well, y'all went this way with it. I wasn't expecting all that to happen. All right, let me get my boy Jerome back in.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you back in. Go ahead, do your thing. Because I
right.
want to hear you, because I know you've been waiting. Go ahead and get your video up.
All right. Keep talking till I get it.
All right, so
Hey, do I need
voting.
To do I need
Voting
to do
is very important. But my question is, we voting, right? Because we know the popular vote. We understand, yes, we vote, but that is not what's winning elections. We also got to understand the electoral colleges and the people who are, those people who are doing the votes are the ones who are most important, the ones who have to be influenced the most. So now that's where money talks. That's where money comes in at. This is where, the lobbyist is able to control whatever. I mean, you got to understand, not everybody voted for Donald Trump. I mean, Donald Trump didn't have that many votes that would make him president. But everybody understood what Donald Trump was going to allow them to do. And that's why these electoral college, the people who did that voting, allowed him to come in and, destroy what what Obama was trying to do. Okay, we get political. I'm gonna have a different aspect of it, because it's a lot of stuff that
I have an opinion on that.
I mean, it's a lot of stuff that could have been done more, but then at the same time, this was white lies to what Obama did, because every time you hear something is, oh, Obama this, Obama that, is Obama's fault, and this and this. So it's we do so much, we build up so much for them to destroy, and then we have to start back over. Because right now, I feel like America is going to have to start back over. And this is our time for us to come up and actually take our role. But at the same time, this is where the financial part at, and hopefully we'll talk about that financial part to actually indulge in it, because that's where our weakness is at when it comes to playing that financial game that they have put into play. Because that's how they steal land. That's how, I mean, come on, this is our land, but this land was stolen under us with these treaties and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So but everybody got to understand though, United States is a corporation. Is not that strong of a nation. It's not that nation that we think it is. It's only controlled by money. Trump just happened to be the retarded CEO. But go ahead, Jerome, because I know you've been waiting. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, nah, it's cool. I was taking in everybody's viewpoints. And, everybody has a great viewpoint. I think a lot of times understanding where you're at can attribute to pushing things forward. And what I mean by understanding where you're at, you understand that this country is a capitalistic society. So you got to understand how capitalism works. You have to understand that money moves things. Us as a group, a melanated group, we don't have a voting block. We don't have a voting
You're breaking up.
that intellectually. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
We don't have intellectually can solve our problems. A lot of times we know we have a problem, but if we can't articulate what the problem is, it's hard to get anything solved. So if I can tell you, yes, something's wrong. America's messed up. Okay, what's messed up? So until we can articulate what the problem is, until we can come together as one group, you got to remember the government is still a representative government. So you vote people into place, but then you expect them to have your back. Well, you give them no incentive. You haven't gave them any money. When you was talking about Obama done things for people who gave him the money. Black people as a group did not come together and give him money and say, this is what we want done. We just anticipated, since he was, that's my quotation marks, black, you know, he would help us out. And that's not how government works. Government works by money. You know, who puts the money behind something to move? So until we as a people come together and articulate what it is that we want done in America, not just complain, not just walk around a building, you know, we have to come together as people and we have to articulate our problems, and we have to take that and put the money behind it to make things move. You know, but when we talk about roles in America, there's many roles. We all can't do the same role. You know, we all have to find our niche, find what we do, and that's a strength, and push that into our community. Let our younger people see us being strong, because whether we understand it or not, it's the young people that make the changes. When you look at the civil rights movement, I mean, look at all the videos, the dogs being sicked on people, the water hoses, the beatings. Those were young people out there.
Yeah.
That was the youth out there moving. Yeah. You know, the older people weren't the ones getting the dogs sicked on them and getting beat. It was the youth, because you know they have the bodies and the manpower to get out there. So.
Are you breaking up again, Jerome?
Damn, RTD too?
I was just saying about the youth, man. It's like we're getting to the point to where we're more, you know, we're advisor roles, but we got to be able to connect with that young crowd, like with the youth that we're talking about, and train them better and teach them, you know, a better way to do things. I agree with you 100% on that part of it. It's like the youth, we have to make that connection and have them be the ones to be on the front lines, man. So
yeah, I mean, as Jerome alluded to, man, that you know, the young folks really make things move, man, with the civil rights movement, man. You know, with Snick and you know, Core, all these kind of, you know, these guys came around, these group came around and really pushed the issue and pushed the agenda, and that was one of the most galvanizing time when it came for Black folks, was during that time period, man, when they really knew what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? They had an agenda that was spelled out what they were looking for.
Right.
And it made some shit happen too. You know what I'm saying? Even, you know, with the, you know, the voting right, all this kind of stuff that came about with that, but they had agenda. We don't have agenda right now.
And that's
we don't have agenda right now, you know what I'm saying? And like I say, and it takes it's gonna take guys like ourselves, black men, intellectual black men, to help guide this thing and make it happen, man. So we have a major role, especially right now. It's a crucial. All y'all mentioned what's going to take place once we get up out of this thing. That's a very key. I mean, that's a great question, man. What's going to happen? What are we going to do? Either it's going to make us or it's going to break us. Because right now, everybody has the same amount of time going through pretty much the same thing, man. So how we going to maximize what we've been going through, man? How we going to lead this fucking charge? Because it hasn't happened.
One thing I want to like kind of go back and like you guys just touched on it, like the politics of it and the money and the lobbyists, because like the lobbyists have been running things for God forever. God knows how to put the money into. That's what's going to win. Talking about the electoral college and like the votes, but you know, and I agree with that part 100%. Like I know how that works because like some of that is like what I do for a living and working in that field and on the other side of that and combating that, but and that is absolutely true. But with 2016, if you really look at that, like I think it was 63 million she had and he had 60 or she had 65 or whatever the number was, but it really came down to it was less than 100 to 150,000 votes in 5 states is what it costed for her. And you think about that, it's 5 states, less than 150,000 votes, even count all the lobbyists, the money they spent, all that stuff. And really what that the 2016 election was a referendum on, it was really about Obama scared the shit out of people.
Right.
Right. This is really what this was about. And it wasn't about, because I've had a discussion earlier today about what he actually did for black people. And you have tangible assets, you have things that are nebulous that like, I can see, I can put my hands on what he did. That was less, you know, there's the small things of what he did for us. But what he did for us was there's little black boys and girls running around right now thinking I could be president. Where before, I never grew up thinking that.
Goddamn right.
We were going to see that in my lifetime. So that what he did, you can't put a number, you can't put a whatever on what him being president did. And that scared the shit out of white people.
Hey, yo,
all these people that lost their, like they felt like that head start that they had was gone. We were back, we were here. So 2016 was about their Hail Mary to reset, give me my shit back that I just lost. It was all this other political stuff that like it's a lot of technical things it was about, but it was about Obama, a black man being president. And I know, brother, you did the air quotes, but I know he's, for us, we look at black, but to them, he's black. So he was black. So it scared the shit out of them, and it empowered. It gave us a different mental. And they're like, we gotta set this shit back. So they jumped on the worst thing that they could jump on, because if that dude from Ohio had gotten a nomination for the Republicans or anybody else, it wouldn't have in their mind reset the scale like it did. They needed somebody that was a 180, that was just like, that was giving them their rhetoric, that was feeding into the things, that was giving them dog whistles, that was doing all that. So it's to get to this point, because even with all that, with what Hillary was and whatever, if in those 5 states, there's enough Latinos, black people, and whatever else that could have prevented that coup, and it was a coup. That's just really what it was. There was enough of us to prevent that shit from happening that didn't.
Yep.
I know I'm doing a lot of talking, and I'm gonna shut up in a minute, but I got a brother of mine. We go back and forth all the time. He's younger than me, and he wants to. He's ready for the revolution and all this other stuff. And I told him at 16, I'm like, man, I get it. I'm with you, but this ain't the time for it. This ain't the time to be cute. This ain't the time to vote a third party and whatever else. We need to keep this dude out of office.
Yeah.
And we didn't. And now it's like, we got another chance to fix this shit. It's like, it ain't the time to be cute. We gotta fix it. So it's like other stuff in play, but sometimes it's like real simple. They just wanted to erase this black dude in their mind being in office, and you know, the other stuff about the lobbyists and whatever else, that's a real issue. And our voice and our impact, and you know, having a black, like getting all our ideas together, all that stuff is what we need to do and have ready for when we get this other situation handled. So
Exactly.
Hey, yo, I want to chime in on that. You know, I think a lot of times our misinformation or our lack of understanding of how government works makes us point the finger. You know, a lot of us we point to Obama like he ain't do shit.
Yeah,
Obama ain't do
they
this,
thought we were gonna
Obama
get
ain't do
Cadillacs,
that.
the houses, and whatever when he came in. It's like no.
Right. So, you know, a lot of people, they point the finger, but president don't got no motherfucking power anyway. You know what I'm saying? He can't do nothing no way. You know what I'm saying? You got these elected officials that they vote him in. So we voting in these elected officials in the government layer level, the mayor, the city council, you know. These are the seats, you know, that we have to really get to make changes, because you know your governors control the state, you know, your mayors control the cities.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like you say, these lobbyists, you know what I'm saying, they held to get in touch with, but if you do get in touch with them, you flood money certain ways to influence, you know, what laws that they pass. So a lot of times, like I say, we are unaware of how government works. So we all look at Obama, you know, what Obama did was fucking mind blowing. I mean, it's unprecedented how that can reflect for generations to come. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something I ain't even think would even happen in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? But to be able to see, you know, us in that position, it should help the youth to motivate us to, like, you know, that's where we supposed to be at, you know, because once the youth starts to gaining these seats and getting these positions, you know, then we can get stuff changed. But they got to be cultivated, you know. They got to be cultivated, you know. We got to set up some kind of structure to cultivate these men and groom them into what we need and the ideals of what we're trying to accomplish, you know. So a lot of times, you know, we point the finger at Obama didn't do this. Obama couldn't do shit anyway. You know?
He had a Republican Congress for one.
Right.
Yeah, he had a Republican Senate and Republican Congress.
Right.
So listening to what y'all saying, and you know, we hearing a lot when they tell us not to vote. So is voting that important? I'm just asking, because I'm saying yes. But a lot of people in the Black community is not quick to go vote because they're acting like my vote don't matter.
You have to kill me to get me not to vote, literally.
Me too.
Literally.
I'm giving you my opinion. My opinion is your vote really don't matter if the motherfucker you voting for ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? He's not taking into account your way of life. You know, if who you voting for is not right there on the ground with you and able to see and understand your way of living, because they all ultimately make laws. You know, they sit in these chambers, they sit in here in groups. They ultimately make laws that govern how we live. So, my opinion, your vote really ain't shit unless you know who you voting for, and unless you've got some money pushing this person to do some things that you need done. Most of the time, our mind scale, we're not even trying to get businesses put places and stuff like that anyway. So we ain't rubbing elbows with them anyway. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, most people, we just working our jobs or whatever. Most common people, you know, they're not looking at an infrastructure being set up, you know, the way that the churches are here and schools are here, you know. They don't understand that, you know. It's got to be some of us that do.
Where I agree with you on that, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm a little bit different on that. So you know how, like, and I won't get into religion tonight, but you know how tithing can be 10% money or it can be 10% works. So it can be like, if somebody who's voting, like to you said, you got to give them money, but if that person who's voting for us, if they knew they had to depend on our vote to win, then what we want is that it takes the place of that money that we can give, because we can't all give that same type of money like these lobbyists in the blocks, some like these people that have that real, some of these other people have that heavy money. But if we got, and this goes back to a couple points we made tonight, you can't ask somebody, you can't say that they didn't give us what we wanted when you never told them what it was that you wanted.
Yep.
We together on
Exactly.
what we want.
Yep.
Is. So once we get that part together, and then it's like, and then like I said, sometimes you got to understand what the situation is. Like I said, you can't just like, I'm gonna withhold my vote from you and I'm gonna let Donald Trump win. You can't do that. But you got to understand, you got to explicitly say to somebody, I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna get behind you consistently, but this is what I need. And so if you consistently say what you want, consistently support people, then the people who are getting that, well, they know, well, if I'm gonna keep this vote over here, I got to do X, Y, Z. If I don't do X, Y, Z, they're gonna walk, I'm gonna lose. It's pretty simple. It's just like we first got to say what that is. You made a real good point about the Obama thing. People cry about what he didn't do, but it was certain things. It was hamstrung and all this other stuff. But with these lower level officials, governors, mayors, senators, and whatever, we got to get together what we want and hold them to the fire, and then get together and support it, because people are, it's just like when they see this big block of people go vote for somebody, like you got a candidate who we put this in front of this candidate and we got this platform, we got this forum, and all these people show up to vote for him. People are copycats, man. They're gonna say, oh, I need that. I need that block of vote. Whether they want to do it or not, they're gonna do it just to get in. They'll throw a couple bones, and those bones are better than what we've been getting. And then we build on that incrementally, and we over time, we really, really get what we want and what we need. But we got to get that foundation better of telling them what we want and putting this together and putting that support behind somebody.
Right.
Go ahead, Wheeler.
No, man. We got some people asking questions on here too, man.
Dude, we got a lot of, man, this chat room is blowing.
Yeah,
y'all don't understand. This chat room is going crazy right now.
I mean, just to
he tell her he talk too much.
Yeah, just a little bit, man. I'm not gonna browbeat y'all with this, but just kind of touch base on both things that Tut and Jeff said. Just like, you know what I'm saying, we just can't vote and just that's the end of the situation. It just cannot be that, man. It has to be something attached to that that's ongoing. You know what I'm saying? If we vote and just leave it there, we're gonna be fucked. Call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? As you said, we have to cultivate some shit. And we have to cultivate that thing, continue to happen with the vote plus our money plus our time plus our energy. That thing has to happen, man. You know what I'm saying? So when people talk about Obama, man, and what he did not do, it's crazy, man. It's pretty ignorance, man, because people just don't know better about, as Tuck alluded to, man, about how a government is ran, man. What it take for a government to run, and how hands are being, or shook, touching bases, agreement. It's politics for a reason. It's called politics for a reason. You know what I'm saying? It's all about who know what, who can do what for whoever. But the key thing of it is keeping things more local, man. You control things local, you can control that White House as well. If it's local, you know what I'm saying? If it's local, you can get that thing. It's a ripple effect. It goes all the way up. It doesn't come down here. It goes up here. So we gotta make sure that we control the city seats, man, and the mayor, and the state senators, and you know what I'm saying, people like that. That we gotta make sure that, cause what affect us happens on a daily basis on a local level, man. On a local level every day, man. So we got some work to do, man. Jerome?
Yeah, I'll jump back in. I think y'all made some very good points. A lot of time we got to understand that what you can control is what's in your tax base, what you putting money into. When I was talking about us as a group coming together, I wasn't talking about us having so much compound that we could take out lobbyists. What I was talking about was a block that was intellectual enough to put together what it is that we want, like the brother alluded to. But your tax base. That's where you can make your changes, because the police that are shooting these brothers and sisters, you know, are public servants, and they're paid for by your taxes. And so until we can get together just on what it is that how we want to solve problems, you know, and then where we spend our money, you know, those are the things that we can control, you know, that, I mean, in the immediate. But as far as everything else, you know, understanding government is, because federal level and state level are two different things. And so until we can understand that, you know, I mean, it's just, you know, you could discuss, you know, who liked Obama, who liked Lincoln. It don't really matter. It's all the same. You know, presidents are just figureheads anyway. You know, what happens in legislation. What happens in legislation, what happens on the judicial side is really what shapes the country. So, you know, until we can take a hold of our own tax base, where we're at locally, put in the politicians that actually hear what we're talking about, shape laws that affect our everyday life, you know, because most federal laws don't affect you every day. You know, they're more on a bigger scale, they're on a broader scale. But as far as government, that's what we're talking about.
And so and that kind of gets me back into the point of where, you know, tying in with Obama, what he was supposed, you know, what some black people thought he was going to do. And I didn't, with the expectations of it, I know how it is. That's just like, you know, when I was working, living on West End, and somebody like your brother, he the manager at McDonald's now. Well, everybody gonna be looking for him to look out for his people. So he's like, only so much I can do. This is like, I can't be throwing you extra stuff and doing whatever. I knew he wasn't going to be like, give us tangible stuff, but I figured that's going to inspire somebody else to be a leader or whatever too. But just like when Trump was in 16, I wasn't really scared of what he could actually do. He signed a bunch of executive orders, but when I look at it, it's like, what has he really done? The thing I was scared about and what I was worried about, and it was the same with Obama. He was inspiring people, young people, to be a certain thing, and that's what Trump is doing. That's why you see the rise in domestic terrorists. That's why you see the rise in, like, what happened in Virginia, what happened with the I Need a Haircut gang. All these people, he prompted all this hate and all this other stuff. That's what somebody in that position of power can do and has done. It's like he's done some legislative damage too, but nothing that can't be fixed. He hasn't done anything, and I didn't think he could do anything in actual office that couldn't be fixed. But what he does, the damage that he's done from inspiring all this other crazy hate and things that he's done, that's the stuff that lasts for a generation and lasts for a lifetime. And if you get 4 more years to do it, he's had 4 years, and you see the jump from 16 to 19 to 20. You give him the 24, there's no telling where we're going to be at that point. So that's what, when you make decisions about something, you got to think about that and make that decision. Is like, do I want to let this keep going on? So
one thing most people don't understand, Obama did do something that was very, very big that a lot of people did not pay no attention to. When he went to the UN, what did he do when he went to the UN? Jerome, what did he do when he went to the UN?
The Indigenous Peoples Rights Act. But now, you know, it almost went through with Clinton, but it just went through in his first year in 08. But
the reason why I was saying that,
but it did go through in his administration.
The reason why I said that, because this is where it is important for us to know who we are. When you say Indigenous Act, this is where this whole thing about everybody, this is where they push everybody to think they came from Africa, because you can't say you're indigenous to this land. You have no ties to this land if you're saying that you were shipped here on a boat. And that's a lot of stuff that we have to truly, truly, truly understand, because that's something that's major that we don't really pay no attention, because we allow history from what they taught us to believe everybody of color came here on a boat. Yes, we came on a boat, but we was here many thousands and thousands of years before that. So we all didn't come here on a slave ship. 15 million people did not come here on no slave ship. So when he did that Indigenous Act, that was super big, but it went over everybody's head because nobody considered themselves indigenous to this land. Nobody considered themselves that
True.
my ancestors was here before the Europeans got here.
And can I hear
That's our problem. And that's the thing about Obama did that nobody paid no attention to. But go ahead.
What's important about that is he did it in the first year. So he was in office 2 years with a Democrat-controlled Congress, and then
Right.
he was able to do that because in the first year or two, because after 2 years it was gridlock and they wouldn't let him do anything he tried to do. So that was one of the things that he did within those first 2 years. And you're right, it's real important for a number of different ways for him to be able to do that and what that actually meant. And he only got that across because he had a Democrat-controlled, Senate and Congress. So
a lot of people don't understand why he did it. And I think that's where the frustration come in on my part. Because yes, I'm gonna tell you now, yes, some of us, we have, African blood. Everybody does. Even white people have it. Europeans have it.
Everybody's African, bro.
Everybody has African blood. So we talking about being here on this land before these Europeans came here, especially in South Carolina, especially where we from. What county are we from?
Cherokee. But even like
Wait a minute. You say we from Cherokee County, right?
Yeah.
But what is our symbol when we play football? What was our symbol?
Indian, they changed it, right?
But no, the reason why I'm saying that because
Africans were here before the Vikings came to the continent. When natives were already here, they tried to say Vikings came first, but it was Africans here before that.
So yeah, but to everybody that's on here, we're from Gaffney, South Carolina, and my boy Jerome is from Forest City, which is 45 minutes from Gaffney, South Carolina. So we're Carolina boys. So everybody have to understand this is how deep we are coming from a small area. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people have to truly understand when I said the county that we're from is Cherokee because the migration and the push down from Cherokees because of what the Europeans were doing was pushing people all the way through Cherokee County, South Carolina, all the way down to Georgia, all the way down to Florida. So we grew up on Indian territory. A lot of our family was already here, but it's kind of hard unless you do a paperwork documentation. We'll just go by what we was believed to be taught. So that's important that we need to understand. So when Obama did that, that's when everybody needs to start paper trailing who you are. Because in other words, he was given an opportunity to tell you to get your land back. Stop going with these fake Indians that's here. And that's just being real. You know what I'm saying? So we have to truly understand that. So I give props. I mean, yes, Obama had, the deck was stacked against him. But at the same time, when he did do something, nobody paid no attention. But everybody was expecting him to be like, fight the power. I'm changing all this. Again, money talks. And that's our problem. But if we put our money together, we change laws. But that's the point. We want to change laws on the highest level. But again, like all y'all saying, we're not doing nothing on the lower level. We just kind of like, whoever, let that city council be that city council. And that's where we lose the battle from the jump because we thinking, the White House and not thinking about the mayor house or the governor's house or, the Congress house. So we overlook, we go straight to Trump. Again, everybody's saying that Trump just talks. He's a puppet. That's all he does. He's just able to show you what the non-educated people want to talk. Listen to him. Is he really talking? But Tud, I know you've been waiting, man. Go ahead.
Ha. Nah, that basically seals it up, you know. I mean, we got to influence these seat holders, you know. If we don't do nothing but get a group together and back one person, and we go out to him and they getting one law passed here, you know, this year. We go after another politician, you know, we put some money, funnel them that way. Boom, get them to do this, pass this, you know. But we got to set up some kind of structure to where we've got a common goal, like the brother said, you know. We got to have a common goal that we all, an agenda that we want accomplished, like what we want, you know, and we go all in fighting for that. We tackle that pillar, we on to the next one, you know. So I mean, it's gonna take an effort, a collective effort, you know, and you know, like our people follow the crowd, you know what I'm saying? So once the gang get to moving, once it get to moving, our people will fall on into play, you know. But initially, it's hard. It's hard winning the people. It's hard getting their mindset right, you know. But once everybody get joined in, then yeah, everybody will follow suit.
Let me throw this in there. I'm gonna tell y'all now, I appreciate this. And the reason why I say I appreciate this, because we all here throwing out ideas of what we need to do to bring us back to who we need to be. And then we brothers is trying to be on the same page. We trying to get an agenda. And I think that's where we lack is everybody wants a different agenda. Everybody wants financial. I want to be rich. I want to be rich. I want to be like what they are versus that's not who we are.
Can I touch on that just real briefly? Because one thing I appreciate, and I hate to even say this about Republicans, is that they're gangster with like stuff that they do. Not every Republican agreed with what Trump is and what he does, but they knew once he was going to be the guy. It's like all our ideas, we're going to put some of that stuff to the side and we're going to get together and we're going to run this train. And we don't do that. We argue so much about what's perfect or what I want, what I need. Once we figure out like if we can get some of our agenda going, and if we got that person that's going to get it, we got people that's like, well, it's not what I want. I'm going to go sit at home. Like, they don't do that. It's like when they get their guy, they get behind that dude and they're going to go with whatever he get, because I know I'm going to get some of what I want and I'll deal with the rest of what he's doing. We don't do that. It has to be perfect for us to get behind it, and we got to get past that. Like, perfect is not what we're looking for. We're trying to move the needle and move that thing down the road, and we'll get there. Like, we're gonna make it get there eventually, but you gotta start moving that thing and quit waiting on perfect before you try to get behind something.
Yeah, I totally agree with y'all. I think, especially when we start talking about Africans and indigenous, you know, or even native, which everybody is native if you're born here.
Exactly.
But I think we get caught up in the semantics of it. You know, we gotta we gotta figure out that the time period that you've been taught about is totally different. It's totally thrown off. You're going by a Gregorian calendar. You're going by the European calendar. Because I heard you talking about the Vikings coming over. The Vikings were said to come over around the year 600 AD. When they came over, there were people over here. That's why they didn't stay. You know, we've been over here thousands of years. That's provable.
That was my point. Yeah, like they tried to start that, but we were already here.
Right. I mean, you know, that's why I'm saying when we use the word African, what they're trying to tie that word African to is slaves. You know, but us as people, we can't sit and argue, well, I'm an African, well, I'm indigenous. Look, we're all the same people. Now, we may have split, you know, 100,000 years ago, and there's a different culture on this side of the hemisphere as opposed to the other side of the hemisphere. But that shouldn't be the argument. The argument should be the attack against the melanated people that's happening
Exactly.
all across the world.
Exactly.
And so we should at least come to some common ground to where we can, at least articulate what the problems are here in America and what we need to do to solve them. The number one thing that we need to do is acquire our land back. The Homesteader Act in the 1800s took away our land. We need a reversal of the Homesteaders Act
Yep.
so we can get our land back that was stolen from us, legally stolen. Does that even make sense? Can I say legally stolen?
Yep.
So, those things, that's the things that we need to sit down together and talk about, is getting and acquiring back what's ours, because land means resources. Resources mean power. And power is the only thing that changes things in America. So you have to have resources, you have to have land, you have to have an ability to create on your own. We don't produce anything. We're just consumers, we just spend.
Mm-hmm.
We're not producers. And so that's why we don't hold any ties to things. If you look at what's going on in Africa, that's why China is coming into Africa, because they know they don't control their own resources. But they're pushing all the Europeans out, but they still don't control their own resources.
Right.
So they're trying to slide in to control the resources. So for us, we got to look at what they're doing, and we got to counteract that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense, man. And it comes down to this right here, man. It's all about the agenda, man. And one thing about our Caucasian people, they have agenda that they stick by. Hell or high water, they stick by the agenda throughout the fucking world.
Yeah.
And they don't sway or waver from that agenda whatsoever. That's why they've been able to dominate the whole earth for so many years. Because they have one set agenda, is to acquire land, to acquire wealth by acquiring the different resources that's on that land. Okay, so as a brother spoke about in the chat room, man, he was saying that we got land equal resources. Alluding to what Jerome said, we got to get this land back as well too. You know what I'm saying? And we got to be able to establish who we are based on that land, and being able to pass that thing down to our kids, our grandkids, or whatever. One thing that we never have more of is land. Ain't no more that shit happen no more. That shit, it ain't grow no more land nowhere else.
Yeah, make it, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we gotta deal with what we gotta deal with now, man. So what we gonna do about that? How we gonna get that land back? How we gonna get the homestead? That's very hey man, that's true. So how can we get our land back that's been stolen, man?
That land, that's the land. Talk about land, like that's how you talk about generational wealth, and you talk about all these rich families. They might have turned into one thing. It might have been oil, it might have been whatever, but it all started off. And that's how you build generational wealth, and that's how it gets passed down. And my brother already hit on it when he said, with the acting, with the black farmers, how their land was taken from them, and that's one of the things that we're behind the 8 ball on, and we just been talking about how the disconnect between, I hate the term, but I'm gonna use it just for context, like the African Americans and with Africa. So you look at the relationship between Jews in America and Israel. You look at Irish Americans, Ireland.
Right.
Like all these people had a strong connection with where they're from, and we've been fed this narrative, and I call it a narrative because I found out better over time by actually meeting Africans, that we've been told that Africans hate, they look at us as watered down, and we hate, like there's this rift between us and our people in our homeland. All the Africans I know, that's false. And they don't look at us like that. Nobody talks about us like that. And actually the ones that I know, the only thing they're talking to me about is how do you reconnect with home? How do you reinvest in home? And how do we get this connection strong? And how do we build this wealth and get this money? That's the only thing they talk about. I've never heard one of them call me watered down and weak because, my ancestors here were slaves or anything like that. But that's the same narrative that they feed us because, and somebody was touching on it earlier, because of our history and where we started. Like young kids, one thing that happened in 2016, you had little kids talking about, are they going to reinstitute slavery? Like, hell no. It's just like our history didn't start with slavery. That's not us. Like, that's not where we started at. That's they've been taught that by a lot of people here. Like, that's what we are. Like, our black people here started with slavery. And that's false. They show maps that show Africa small. Like the scale of Africa is off, but
Right.
so big. Like, it's more of the same narrative of what they're feeding us, and they try to create that rift and that disconnect between us because they know if all the black people here had a strong connection with where we're from in our homeland and the number of people that are over there, that's a problem for them, and they know that's a problem for them. China knows it's a problem. Russia, the people here know. Everybody knows it's a problem, and they continuously try to create that rift between us here and us with our connection with where we're from. So, like, that's we got to get over that too.
Go ahead, Ty.
I mean, the brothers summed it up. They summed that up. We all know our unity is more powerful than anything on the globe.
Shit out of people, man.
But one thing I want a lot of people to understand too is this ain't all about a black or white thing. Systematically, white people have made laws that have prohibited us from getting our piece of the pie, so you could say. But in the future, man, I think we should definitely concentrate on ourselves. But while we incorporating ourselves and looking out for ourselves, we got to know and understand that when we're looking out for ourselves, we're looking out for everybody on the fucking planet. You know what I'm saying? We want our black agenda pushed. Yeah, we want, more rights for our black people, but inevitably, we're not coming from a tyrant aspect. You know what I'm saying? Previous leaders, even Alexander the Great, they came in, took over the Phoenicians and stuff. This was tyrant moves. They took over and forced things. Us, we want universal peace for everyone.
We do.
Just so happens that we got to fight so hard for black rights now, but inevitably our goal is not only black rights, it's for human rights. We've been a cultural, we've been a civilization of nation of people of many shades, and even through our empires, it was always been peaceful. We never had empires that were straight tyrants, that just disrespected people. Even having white people in an area called Europe was a peaceful means for us to place them, and let them thrive still.
Right.
So ultimately, like I
Right.
say, a lot of people should understand, our objective is not only to fight for black people, it's to fight for equality for everyone. And I know a lot of the white mindset or white idealists, they're still fighting for wanting to keep it their country and not wanting to lose their country and feel like they're losing hold on it. Well, I mean, that's their fight to keep that white ideal and that white mindset alive, and I want everybody to truly understand, we embrace all nationalities, we embrace all cultures, we embrace all races, and we're the mothers and fathers of civilization, so we want to look out for all the babies, love the babies. So
So bro, like, it's funny you say that. Like, I agree 100% because, like, white power means superiority, black power means equality. Like, when they say something about white power, it means something different than black power. Black power, we just want equality. They mean superiority when they say that. So we just want to be on an equal plane and for everybody to have the same thing and do the same thing. We're not trying to rule anything, and we're not trying to be superior of anybody. We just want what's rightfully ours is to be on the equal plane with everybody, and that's not what they mean when they say the same thing. So you're exactly right about that.
Yep. Jerome. Is he there? Oh, he done froze up.
He done froze again.
Yeah.
Mannequin style.
Go ahead, Wheeler. Yeah, you breaking up. You've been bouncing in and out, man.
But what you said, Tuck, man, about the human rights, man, and that is true, man. We all about Black was all about human rights, man. If you go back to little slavery, man, when the indentured servants was working along with us, we was able to build a strong bond with them, and we made some things happen. And when we came together, we had power. Right. And one thing they had to do, the power structure had to do, was to provide that, to let the poor white folks know, look, even though you are poor and you white, you still can be one of us. If you make the Black folks feel, you know what I'm saying, inferior to you. Yeah. So we all about, man, we taking anybody, man. We're taking anybody babies, man, and we'll raise them as our own, man. That's how we are, man. I mean, we are benevolent beings, man. And we love everybody in spite of how they treat us. In spite of how they treat us, man. So we just want the right thing to be done for all of us, man. And until the Black man and the Black woman have equal footing, man, this world would not be the way it needs to be. It cannot function without us being able to have the same equal rights that everybody else has. You know what I'm saying? You just can't drive on a truck and chase a man down just because you think that person is a criminal. And it's okay. Then you have people who supporting that notion of, you know what I'm saying, it's okay to do that, man. We gotta get that, we gotta flush that shit out of the system, man. Until that shit happen, man, America's not gonna be the beacon we're supposed to be, man. You got a lot of bullshit with us, man. Yeah.
Go ahead, Drum.
Yeah. Now y'all made a lot of points. We jumped a lot of spaces. The key is education. That's the basic bottom line. Us being more educated about politics, business. Am I still breaking up? B, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're still breaking up, but go ahead. You're fighting through it though.
Yeah, I'm trying to muster it up. But can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Now go ahead. I'm gonna have to get back on you, B. Let me check something.
You want to jump on? Hey, check this out. I got a question, and I want y'all to really seriously think about this. Did we adapt that culture? Because when I say we adapt that culture, we went from being protectors and guardians of this planet to now we adopted that culture, so we don't really care about anything. It's all about self. It's all about you. It's whatever you can do. In other words, we've been talking about human rights. Yes, Dr. King fought for civil rights that benefited everybody else, but nobody cared about the human rights factor of what was really going on. So did we adopt a culture that took us out of our place and put us in a position where we at right now? Is that adoption is where we at now?
Now, I don't want to say we adopted it. You know, it was this was forcibly placed on us.
We went into survival mode, bro. We went into survival mode.
Yeah, she was forced.
No. I mean, but no. When I say this, understand what I'm saying is, because yes, we always been in survival mode. But I'm talking about right now with how we attack each other, how we all bonding to try to do something. A lot of us don't do this. A lot of people would literally look at this and be like, man, ain't nobody care about what y'all saying. That's what I'm saying. We went from everybody coming together, everybody protecting one another, to we don't care what you say. That's why I say we have to stop being selfish and stop thinking about one another. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta look at the Industrial Revolution. You know what I'm saying? The Industrial Revolution.
Okay.
The formulation of America here, independency. You know, capitalism is what formed this nation. You know, so it wasn't exactly adopted into us. It was the umbrella that we had to stand under, you know, to survive. So when you're nurtured into this way of living, of course it becomes accustomed to you. You know, those ideologies become your way of thinking. You know, especially when we don't have a standard blueprint to show us what exactly is supposed to be anyway. You know what I'm saying? So we're navigating through their BS anyway and finding our way. You know.
But also, when we show examples of when we band together and when we come together and do something big, I mean, everybody knows. I hope everybody knows about Black Wall Street. But when we band together and do something on a collective, large scale, it was blown up. Literally, like not like are we gonna get rid of this? It was blown up. So it sent all those people out, and that's just a microcosm of what we have all been done, you know, has been done to us. And I said, it's like survival mode for me, my family, or whoever else. And sometimes that comes to, and it's not right, but it's what it is, to where I have to push down and tear down another Black man, another Black family, just to get ahead for myself, just to do right. And like I just have to look out for me. And we all know that's not right, but that's just like a lot of the situations we've been put in over the years.
Yep. Go ahead, Willie.
No, go ahead, Jerome. He been trying to get in for a minute. Go ahead, man.
I think we got to look at it from the. I keep hearing the word slave, right? Or indentured service and different things of that nature. I think we got to look at the perspective of it was never that. It was a commission of war for our people. And we've been prisoners of war for a long time. Did I cut out, B?
Man, you've been cutting out in and out. It's kind of like you R2D2 in it for real.
Hey, yo, hold up. Y'all gonna get off my boy Jerome, man. We know he got all them trees out there.
Man, he got
out Jerome.
a cricket phone. Got a cricket phone on you, man.
Hey, I'm surprised he got that kind of connection out there, man. He doing good to have that kind of connection in Forest City, man.
No, but he don't never have. Is it a storm going your way? Because he don't normally have that. You don't never have that bad reception. Like right now, you're good, Jerome. You good
go
right
on your
now,
roof,
Jerome.
man.
Oh, I'm good right now.
Yeah, you
go on
good
your
right
roof,
now,
man.
Go outside. Hey, go out on the porch, man. You know, go out there.
Go on your roof and hold your hand up like this.
Right.
Hey, people aluminum fall on top of your head or something.
But what I was saying was there's been a declaration of war against us, and we've been at war and prisoners of war for a long time. If you look at how the police treat us, that's to keep you in order. That's to keep fear installed in the prisoners. People talked about, and you know, I had mentioned it earlier last time we spoke, that the reason why there's so many connections to West Africa is because the Islamic slave trade brought a lot of indigenous Blacks from America to West Africa. And so that's why we have that big connection. And I don't understand why we still have that fallout and why we can't get together on one page for us to push forward with our agendas. I don't know if I'm still breaking up because I'm looking at Brian's face.
No. I was reading the message because Tut saying his battery died.
No, you good, bro.
Go ahead,
Okay.
keep going in.
Yeah, so like I said, us as prisoners of war, we got to first realize that we're at war. And then we got to strategize, how do we win the war that's being placed against us? If you realize the government, when they set agendas, they say the war on drugs, right?
Yep.
But it's a war against who? Us.
Against us.
You know, every time there's a war on this, a war on that, you got to look at who the combatants are. And, you know, it's usually the government against us. So we gotta realize when we talk about our role, we gotta look at the role not just inside of ourselves, but the role America puts us in. And so we can come up with an agenda of how to take this, what's being pressed on us, and flip it around. That makes sense.
I don't even know what you said the last
It
one.
would have made sense if I heard you.
Bro, it does make sense. I caught most of it.
Hey,
I agree with you.
I'm a sign language on your ass, man. I'm a sign language on your ass.
Hey, brother, I heard most of it. I agree with
My
what
bad. I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna step back, B.
We're gonna say we agree because we know you're gonna be. We know you be bringing it though. So yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. No matter what, you probably said something crazy. I'm gonna say we agree with you. But go ahead. Go ahead, Wheeler. You've been quiet, man. Come on, let it go.
Hey, man. Hey, this right here, man. What he said about the whole war thing, man, and I never heard war on opiates yet.
You're not going to. But go,
I haven't heard war on opiates because it's part of that agenda, part of that dynamic, man. But as you spoke about, Brian, and we adopted some things, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about survival, man. You know what I'm saying? Because a brother in the hood and a brother in the suburbs have two different mindsets when it comes to living. One is saying, you know what? I don't give a damn what's going on the other side, man. I have to find a way to eat, a way to live, and to survive, man. So we have a plethora of things that need to take place when it comes to the Black agenda, man. And we got to bring everybody aboard, man. You know what I'm saying? I read some things today with this respectability politics, man. You know what I'm saying? That burns me up, man. When some Black folks just dismiss everybody else as not worthy to bring along, man. You know what I'm saying? We gotta provide hope for everybody to bring along, man, in order for this to happen, man. And we gotta find some type of way to clear that gap where we are so divided, man. Slavery, part of war is, man, being able to divide and conquer. You know what I'm saying? To divide and conquer, man. You know, if you watch some old, if you read some old military books or whatever, one thing that military do, they divide, you know what I'm saying, a certain army. You know, they may flank them one kind of way, come at them different kind of ways, man, but they try to divide that army to conquer them, man. And for so many years, man, Black folks have been divided strongly, man. You know what I'm saying? And so each generation is reiterated. Now, our young folks able to understand a lot more things now than we did as growing up because of the internet, man. You know what I'm saying? It's information readily at their hands, man. And we have to, we had to make sure that we teach them how to take that information and build off that thing, man. We have to galvanize everybody, man, to make a big difference in our community, man. From here to Louisiana to California to New York, man. We gotta do different things, man, to bring everybody together. And it's gonna take some work, man. It's gonna take some work, man. Take some guts, man. And people gotta not be selfish, Brian, as you mentioned. We gotta have love for everybody, man, when it comes to our people.
Go ahead, Joe.
No, it's funny. I heard you say something about opiates, and I just had this conversation either early this morning or yesterday with somebody about opiates. If the coronavirus or opiates affected people who were taking opioids, they would have a different approach than what they have to it right now. Like I said, it wasn't until they found out it attacked Black people.
Jerome.
Then it attacked everybody else, then it was like, oh, it's not a big deal anymore. And if it was attacking dogs and people on opioids and certain other people, it will be approached and attacked by the administration a whole lot different.
Right.
Think about, and this gets back to a couple different points. Even knowing that, we've had a lot of conversations with people about the conspiracy of about the Black thing. Like the way some people portray it is different, but there's certain facts to that. We know it kills certain Black people more than it does other people. So if you know that, don't be ignorant to some of the facts and what people are, trying to do to you. But we can't even get together on what it is, how it got here, who it affect, what you need to do about it. We still fussing with each other about all this other stuff when we know certain things. Like there's a bunch of conspiracies, but there's some facts out there, and we can't even agree on that, knowing that thing when, you know, they just trying to send you back out. They protesting to send you back, like, go on back out there, because they know it's impacting us differently than it's impacting them.
True.
And, we got to understand that.
True.
Okay, I got a question. Do we fear ourselves?
Shit, yeah.
Oh, that's
Shit, yeah.
I mean,
let's be real, man. We do, man. I mean, we buy into the whole stereotype shit too, man. You know what I'm saying? If we see some guys that coming down the street that look not too approachable. Now, where I come from, man, I'm always unaware. I'm saying I don't give it. I look at everybody goddamn strange in the goddamn way. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I was just fucking built like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we fear ourselves, man.
That's tough for
Definitely
me.
do.
That's tough for me because I struggle with that. It's not easy for me to answer because
That's true. Yeah, Jim.
my initial thing is like no, then there's a but to that. And I'm gonna give you an example of me and my wife were on one of our anniversary trips. We were in Seattle and we were at the like out by the wharf and we were walking down the street. Like it's a long, like a sidewalk, and there's a bunch of couples, like different people walking in front of us. You can see it, but like there was a sidewalk down at the end, and there was a bunch of brothers, like young dudes, like it was a bunch of black dudes, like 5, 6 of them, sitting there where everybody had to walk through them. So, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching. There was a white couple, there was a Latino couple, or whatever walk through. Nobody said a word to them. My big black ass and my wife come walking through there, and two of them tried to say something out the window to us, and I stopped. I'm like, bro, I sit here and watched you let everybody walk by here. You ain't say nothing to them, and you gonna pick us to try to call out and to try to, harass because we walking through here. And she pulling me because how that could have turned out something ugly. But I'll say no. I don't fear. And I probably should be a little bit more cautious about my people than I should, because I still got faith in us, and I still want to believe, to my detriment sometimes, that we're gonna look out for each other, and we don't always do it. I'm gonna acknowledge that piece of it. We don't always do it, and we do a lot of things to ourselves that we really shouldn't. But I still keep holding out some little hope that I don't need to be scared of my own people. I'm not, and maybe I should be.
Hey, Jeff, one thing that Reagan said that made fucking sense based on everything else he said, trust, but fucking verify.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I feel you on that.
I think that's what you know what I'm saying, you're alluding to, man, that you kind of saying that, I trust my people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so do I. When it comes down to it, I trust my people more so than anybody else. All right? Be honest with that. However, I still have to verify some things because there's some people within our community not good for us.
No, you're right about that.
You know what I'm saying?
I can't, but
I don't want to walk around,
right.
I don't walk around with that mindset like that. Now I see what I see, and I recognize what I recognize. You know what I'm saying? So based on that, I don't fear, but I'm damn sure cautious.
I'm more leery. I'm leery, and I'm my head on the swivel. I'm looking out. I know what to look for. I'm not completely trusting, but I can't live in a world where I'm scared. Hell, if I can't trust us, who the hell I'm gonna trust?
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
let's see if Jerome. Go ahead. Let's see if Jerome can get in.
I might still be breaking up on you. Go ahead, Brad.
All right, let me, I tell you what, let me reiterate this question. Do we fear self? And when I mean, do we fear self, do we fear our own selves?
Oh, hell no. I believe, because me on my personal journey, I've gotten to know what I am, what my people are, like the whole thing that goes about what I am. I don't fear nothing about myself. I love the hell out of like what I am, where I come from, my family, my heritage, I've gotten to learn. And I know my fam down there, he's gone on that journey too, of learning some of your ancestors and whatever else. And that just strengthens me for who and what I am. I get more and more confident in myself and who I've always been somebody that just bet on myself to do certain things. I've done it at work, I've done it in life, or whatever else. I don't fear anything about me because I've done the work of understanding who and what I am. I mean, it's a constant thing, it's a continual thing. But no, if you and maybe I hope I understood your question right. But no, I don't fear anything. Like whatever comes out of whatever whoever I am, I'm good with that. So no.
I don't I feel that I'm not gonna reach my full potential.
Boom. That's the only thing I worry
You know
about.
what I'm saying? I really feel that I'm not gonna reach my full potential, and I feel that by me not reaching my full potential, I'm letting so many people down, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel as though that I have a purpose, man, and I've been put in my position to make a change, man. Not only in my life, but in many people's lives, man. You know what I'm saying? I was blessed to be able to get a football and baseball scholarship, man, and to go off to do that. I was blessed to be able to be exposed to different things that help shape me who I am. Now, I'm afraid that if I don't share that with anybody else, man, the next generation or the next person, man, then yeah, I fear myself in that fashion, in that manner. But as far as, but each day I learn more about myself each day. I learn something new about myself each and every day, man. Yeah. Because them old ways try to come back in all the time, man. And I got to fight them old ways. Keep them at bay, man. But I'm also learning about myself even more each day. As I get older, I learn more about myself that I didn't know about myself, or I ignored about myself.
Good. So, and that's the reason why I threw that question out there, because it's a journey. And it's a journey that a lot of people don't want to take, because that's when I say, do we fear? Because a lot of people are scared of being who they need to be. That's why I say, do they fear themselves? Because of the journey that because we're impatient. A lot of us want this stuff to happen right now versus you trying to, and then what happened is, instead of letting you become you, you allow somebody else to make you become who you're not. And then what happens is you end up becoming something, and then the domino effect happens because you stepped out of self and took on somebody else's role of who you supposed to be. You see what I'm saying?
You know what one of the hardest things is to be self-aware. And
yes,
in my 20s, and when I went through the whole thing of when I was in college, at the end of my college career, when I got hurt right at the end, and people had certain expectations of me and what I was going to do. And, life happens to you, and, that doesn't work out like what everybody put on you. I had a hard time, even though I thought at the time I was dealing with it the right way. I look back, I really didn't, because I let what people thought of me and what I should be doing dictate how I moved and what type of decisions I made. And it took for my mom to sit me down and tell me, she was like, it doesn't matter what you do, people aren't going to be happy with you. You can't live for other people, because no matter what level you attain, they're going to always say you should have done something more, done something different. So she had to really get me refocusing and get me back, on my square about who I am and what I should be doing. So I have real hard conversations with myself about what my strengths are, what you are, what you have, things I've done, and what I could have done better. When I started having those real hard look in the mirror conversations with myself, and that's ugly, man. I say it like it's easy, but
that shit, man,
that ain't easy, man. So the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it, and the more you understand, I before I even have to have that conversation, I know, man, you got to explain this to yourself. So it's I started moving a lot differently, and I'm self-aware. I know and when I say that, I really mean that. I know good, all the bad shit that I am, and they talk about the good stuff. I know all the bad stuff that I am, what I've done, what that means, how I need to fix it, how you need to all that. I've had all these conversations with myself. So
hell yeah, man. I don't call myself so many goddamn shitheads and you piece of shit, you're fucking idiot, man. You know how many times I cuss myself out throughout my fucking life, man. Yo, nobody's harder on me than I am on myself, man. I you a piece of fucking shit. You ain't shit, motherfucker. Yeah.
Right, but everybody, they like to people, they find the best of themselves, and you know, like they like to accentuate that. Like I'm self-deprecating to a point with myself. Like I know
Right.
I'm wrong. Like, boy, get your like tighten that shit up, man.
For
Like,
real. I like, man, you a fucking dumbass. I said, you a fucking dumbass. You a stupid motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit, Jerome is on. Boy, you look good. Yeah, you looking good right now.
I'm looking good. Let me roll then.
Go ahead.
So you asked the question about do we fear ourselves? You know what I think? I don't think we fear ourselves that we know. I think we fear the unknown. That part of the greatness that we don't know. You know, I think we fear looking for it. We fear, you know, people don't want to search for their history, you know, because it's things that they fear. Because every time, as Brother Jeff alluded to way earlier, every time we rise up, they blow us up. They destroy us. And so, you know, that's built into our DNA for right now, you know, and we only rise so far because we think the hammer is going to fall. You know, I don't think fear ourselves as what we look in the mirror and see. You know, I think we fear what's beyond that. I think we fear coming together. I think we fear trusting each other. I think we fear that all this is gonna fall apart once it start going good. You know, I think there's a lot of fears that's been ingrained in us. You know, and we got to realize that fear is not real. Fear is what we create in our own mind. When I look at you, and if I'm scared of you or fearful of what you're gonna do to me, I'm creating that process in my mind. Of course, there's a lot of information that dictates why I make that decision to create that in my mind. Of course, we hadn't been on the correct path. Of course, we've accepted the behavior of the animals that controlled us. And now we're perceived as the animals, even though, you know, we don't gang lynch people. We don't control where people live. We don't control the banking industry. We don't control, you know, our own resources. But yet we're the ones that should be feared, and not from the manner of fear respect, but fear that we're the criminal element.
So let me ask you a question real quick along those lines. How many countries or tribes of Africa went elsewhere to try to conquer somebody else, or went elsewhere to try to fight somebody else? How many tribes or countries left Africa to go to Europe or whoever to fight somebody?
Zero.
Nobody. That's not in our nature. That, to your point, that's not us. That's not what we do. So yeah,
right. I mean, now.
We have, but it just
no. That's on the continent. That's something different.
Right. Well, I'll say it like this, because when we talk about indigenous melanated people, we always talk like we're a monolithic people. We've never been one people on the earth.
No.
Everybody's had their culture because we've been separated for so long. You know, there's this world is huge. And, you know, there's time spans in between when we dealt with each other, even those that left the continent, whether it was this continent to the other continent or the African continent to here. However you believe it, it's been hundreds of thousands of years regardless. So, yes, everybody has aggression. Everybody defends.
Breaking up again.
What's there, but we are not a people of aggression. You know, that was never our nature. We're more builders. We're intellects, because we've been on the earth long enough to be past the stage of being aggressive. So that's very complicated what we're talking about, but that's how I see it.
Right.
I mean, it's true, man. You know what I'm saying?
But Jeff made a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, that was earlier. we fight for everybody else's rights. In other
Right.
words, whatever
Right.
whatever we're comfortable with, it balanced everything out. It's an imbalance in the United States. And that's why there's so much conflict going on, because of the imbalance, because of the fear of us taking back what's ours. It's the fear of the Black planet. Everybody is scared of us.
No,
And
but
it's
you know
like,
what's
we ain't even doing nothing.
But you
It's
know what's
kinda-
crazy about that? It's we fear like people being like tyrannical or taking over.
Right.
They fear equality. That's crazy as hell. They fear us being equal, and we just don't want you to try to.
With that is where
Hey, can I?
that too, Jeff. But as well as they have the preconceived notion that what they done to us will be done to them as well.
That's
they have
the fear.
They have a
That's the
lot of
fear.
that as well too. They feel as though if they become in power or become equal, where they treat us the same way that they treat us. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't thinking about that shit, man. We're thinking about, man, can we get, you know what I'm saying? We're thinking about that
Hey.
shit, man. We don't even care. We don't think along lines like that, man. We want to make sure that we're able to eat,
Hey,
you know what I'm saying, and build and take care of our kids. We don't care about trying to make your ass go do some fucking cotton picking. I'm picking cotton and shit like that. We don't care about that shit, man. We don't care about that.
Let me throw something at you. So I always found this funny that people that call themselves supremacists, right? If you have to tell me that you're supreme, then you're not supreme, right?
Exactly.
But check me out now. There's a reason why they keep you pushed down, because you talked about we fight for equality, right? But once we equal, let's look at it from this perspective. So if you put Usain Bolt and the best runner from Iceland on equal planes to start, who gonna win the race?
Goddamn, both.
So they know
that shit, baby.
They know if you equal the playing field, we won't be equal long.
We so conditioned to have to fight. So because I know at work I have to be 2-3 times better and have a resume.
Right.
So if you put me on the same page as you, and it's like I'm a whoop.
Right.
Like I'm conditioned different than you.
Like,
So
we're conditioned
that's why
to
they
go.
don't want you equal.
Right. So
No, they can't. You know what I'm saying? They can't. Yo, it changes the dynamic of a lot of shit when we have that same footage.
That's why they fought affirmative action so hard. It's just
but see, affirmative action didn't help us. It helped the white woman. It didn't help us. The white woman benefited more than anybody else when it comes to affirmative action.
Still do.
It ain't been us.
Right. That's why
Still do.
Still do to the day. That shit don't. Hey, dog. We may get. You know what I'm saying? We may get Frederick into Harvard. You know what I'm saying? But then there's 15 Beckys. You do that shit, man. You know what I'm saying?
It turned out, but when it first was put on the table, they're like, "Oh hell no! I want my head start. If we run into 400, I need my 100, 150, 200 meter head start. I need that. Like,
Exactly.
I need.
But I don't know if you notice when you study the history of it, when the whole fight for equal rights happened, it started as equal rights for blacks. But once they seen that it was passed, and like you said, once it was on the table, this is when they created minorities.
And all women fell under my
right.
Like,
everybody did.
I ain't talking about my black women because they've been doing their shit. But it's like the minority part when white women and other when everybody they use other stuff in there with that. Yes.
Right. So,
right.
yeah.
I mean that. Wow.
Yeah, man. It's hey. So, man, we gotta continue fighting, man, and fighting, man. Continue doing what we're doing right now, man. And we gotta each one truly have to teach one. And going back what Jerome said last week, man, and it been sticking with me, man, since that last time, since Monday, man, last Monday, is that that we have to have a rite of passage for our boys, man. Because our boys, for the most part, are in more danger than anybody else, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they're dealing with so much shit when it comes to being young black men.
So
So
you
we got to set the examples and set the stage for them young black men to become successful, I'm saying, black men, you know what I'm saying, to become 44, 45, 48, 49 years old, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
we all
We gotta
say,
set that stage for them, man.
we all I think that's like we all have our different opinions, but I think they all come back to that. And that, we've all said it at some point to where we have to cultivate, and I heard that word said it, somebody else said it. We have to teach, that's one of the things that because you said something as far as, struggling to find out what my purpose is. And that's what, like, I know that's another show I could talk about 100 times. I should have either been dead or in jail. And some of my friends are dead and in jail, but I'm still sitting here. And I was like, you got a purpose for being here. And it's like struggling to find out what that is, just getting myself together and then figuring out what that is, but then to pass that on and to teach. And that's like one of my main things right now. And what's something I'm passionate about, I was talking to somebody did something on Facebook that I'm like, bro, you serious right now? And I didn't call him out on Facebook. I texted him or tried to call him right before this. I'm like, man, you a leader and you out here doing something that's reflected poorly on what you're trying to do. You got to fix that shit. So, and it's one of those things to where I'm not going to call you out publicly. I got that relationship with you. So where I'm going to talk with you about that. And I know I want and I tell people all the time, if you see me, you see me, well, I'm out of pocket, I'm doing something wrong, call me out on that shit. Check me on it. Get me right. Like I'm looking for that. So the purpose is to just help everybody get informed and to mentor where I can mentor, to learn where I can learn so I can pass that on to somebody else, and just to help everybody, just be the better version of themselves or the best version of themselves that they could be, so they can in turn help other people, because we got to teach these young folks better. Because whatever fault we try to put on them, I'm going to say it again, part of it is on us.
It's on us.
We're not teaching
It's
them.
on us.
It's
on us, man.
Because all these like you look at all the great leaders we had in the 60s and 70s, they didn't just pop up. They didn't grow them somewhere. They were cultivated by somebody. All the great leaders that we've had were taught by somebody else.
Hey, Jeff, but one thing did happen in between the civil rights generation and our generation. Once they felt like they have overcome,
we made it. Yeah, we thought we made it.
We made it. They dropped the ball with us. You know what I'm saying?
So we weren't
taught
properly how to like that. We got to understand. So you got to know what you don't know, and you got to understand there's a disconnect of the people that raised us didn't have the same kind of fervor that the ones, the generation before the one before us.
Right.
They got complacent and comfortable in raising us, so we in turn got comfortable raising the people after us.
Right.
That's part of it.
Right. Yeah. So we got to close that gap. One thing I can say, man, the time frame that we were born, we lived in the time frame that we're in now, we are the generation that's able to close that gap from old school to new school.
Yeah,
because we do have old school values, but we still know what the hell going on for new school as well.
Old school value, but everybody know how to get on Zoom too. So your ass can get on Zoom, and you got we ain't Teddy Riley up in here. So we got
boom, boom, shot fired.
But you're right though, we got the old school values, but we still got enough that we can connect with the people we need to connect with. That, and that's important.
All right,
I gotta say one thing, man. We're talking about equal. One guy say like Craig Elo trying to guard Jordan. They may be weak there, dog. They may be weak there.
I think the next thing that we might need to talk about is, because somebody did bring up a point, they're stripping us of our masculinity.
Man, let me say something real quick. Can't nobody strip you of some shit you ain't wanting to be stripped of. Like, for what? Like, what the hell does that even mean? Like, that's something. Like, you can be like, come on, man. Like, that's one of those you reaching, you stretching, or whatever else. And because I can start. You don't even have to get into the details, but you can go to the 70s and dudes was wearing high heels, platforms, onesies, and whatever else. That's some bullshit that everybody talking about and excuse. Your community ain't music clothing. Can't nobody take that from you if you ain't want to give it up. So just, that's a tough conversation for me to have because people be stretching with that. Like this agenda they think somebody feeding. And I know people might disagree with me, but I'm really past, like you can't nobody take something from you that you ain't trying to give up, for one. And a lot of what they're saying is doing it. It's stuff that's already been out there and done before. It's not any different. They're not creating anything new under the sun. It ain't the clothes, the music, the TV. Like the only thing that's a little bit different is people are a little more comfortable with people who are different than them. And they think just because people are comfortable with something that's different than them that you're pushing an agenda. No, they just pushing acceptance and shit like that. So if some people might be uncomfortable with that, but
All right, y'all. We're gonna have to shut it down. We've been on. Oh man.
Hey man, could y'all do something for me, man? Try to do this each week, man, if we can, man. Each time that can each one of us, man, share a book that means something to us, man, that can mean something to our brothers and sisters, man, cause you know what I'm saying, one or two books, man, that we can share, right quick, man. I'm gonna start off, if you don't mind.
Man, I gotta run downstairs.
I'm gonna go to my see.
You gotta stay.
I gotta pull up my ebooks, man. Cause all my books,
hey man, how you gotta do it?
Look, I got my Kindle on my whatever on there right now. I can give you that.
Hey man, how you want to do it? Doesn't matter to me, man. Just pass it on. Cause one thing a brother said on here, man, on the chat, he said, man, that we are free, but we can't read. You know what I'm saying? And that you know what I'm saying, that bothered me more than a lot of other stuff, man. Cause we died, we got killed because they realized that knowledge was in those books, man. And it's an old curriculum that talks about if you want to hide something from a black man or from a black person, put it in a book, man. And which is
I hate that shit.
I hate that shit too. JC, I hate that shit too. But hey, anywho, man, that's true, man. See, the first book, man, that we gotta do, man, the new Jim Crow, man. Michelle Alexander, man. This is a must read. Every black person got to get this book right here, man. Yes, understand the damn system, man. Understand what we're going through right now, man, and why we going through what we're going through.
That's a great book. That's a great book.
You sold out right there, and I'm bringing my books with me, and I won't even bring up the ones on my phone. I'm going to get my books out of storage, bro.
Okay, and the next one that I showed being Jerome last week, man, is that the book by Coach, man, and it talks about we talked about other day, man, about teaching the next generation, man. He wrote it. He wrote something to his nephew, man, or his old self, or whatever you want to call it, man. But these two books right here, man, I recommend, man. All right, so yeah.
All right, go ahead. I mean, since you're already on, Wheeler, go ahead and get your last words in. Or is that it?
That's it for me, brother.
All right. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, well, the only thing I want to wrap this up is like, for me, man, like when I told you yesterday, I was like, I know I run my mouth. I know I talk a lot, but it's really setting up for me the next thing I can hear where I can learn something. That's the important thing for me. Sometimes I say stuff to get somebody to say, to get a conversation, something I want to hear, something I can ingest, and something that's going to add to what, I've been thinking or learning or whatever. So I just appreciate the conversation and appreciate the forum and just hearing different perspectives and how people, how we looking at, we got the same topic, but we all come at it from because we all have different experiences. So you're going to have a different take on what you're talking about. So I just appreciate the forum, and I hope whoever listens, took something out of what we had to say, because it's always about, learning and applying it, taking it and being able to go apply it to something, because we all talking about real life experiences. Yeah, I just appreciate the forum, man, and appreciate, listening to y'all brothers, having a chance to just be a part of it. So appreciate y'all brothers for that.
All right, I'm gonna let Drone, let me get it in. I'm gonna let you finish it off. I'm gonna let you end it off.
All right, go ahead. All
right, yo, but see, this is what we do, and this is why we call ourselves the three-headed monster, especially with me, Jerome, and Tuck, because we three different mindsets on the same body. and people got to truly understand the concept of what we're trying to do. But I do appreciate this. I also I'm gonna just start posting every day is the I am. Say something positive about yourself. I am. Say something positive about yourself. Because a lot of us don't understand what we need to be saying or doing to uplift ourselves. And a lot of things, there's another thing I wanted to say to you, Jeff, is what you were saying with the arguing, but when you're talking to yourself, or you, Wheeler, when you're talking about yourself, that's your inner man fighting your ego. So that's your subconscious fighting your conscious. So that's your real man talking to the man. So y'all just stay encouraged. This is the book I'm currently reading right now, The Amber Tablets by Billy Carson. So this is the book that I'm heavy in on, and I'm still trying to get in touch and still get deep into my spiritual side. But I do appreciate y'all brothers being on our platform today. And again, another good one, man. So I'm gonna say, know thyself, stay within self, understand self, because once you understand self, you understand you. So don't let other things influence you but you. And that's one love from me. Go ahead, Jerome. Finish it off, Jerome.
All right, man, listen, first of all, I'd like to apologize for the technical difficulties.
Jordan had a bad game today.
Hey, yeah, but that's what happens. That's what happens when you deal with live recordings. But what I want to say, I want to reiterate what I talked about last week, the 3 sciences that we have to learn as a people. 1, the science of war, or the military science. We need to learn the science of business and the science of relationship. I also talked about from going from a boy to a man, the rite of passage that we need back in our community. We touched on something earlier. We talked, and I mentioned that we were at war. So sometimes when you're at war, you need to understand your enemy. So here's a book.
The Iceman Inheritance. Yeah, boy.
Yo, I gotta get that, man.
Yeah, boy. You going there, Jerome.
So read that book and you'll kind of understand more of who it is and why it is these things are against you. And so
Hit it there, boy.
Once again, man, listen, I enjoyed all the brothers. Is Jeff still on? I wish
Yeah, I'm still here. I don't know why you can't see me, but I can hear y'all though.
Okay.
Hey,
Hold on, let me
I appreciate, man, you coming on. I hope we can get you back on. And it's always good.
No doubt, Jerome.
Yeah. But hopefully next time I have a better signal.
Hey, get 2 cans. Hey, get 2 or 3 cans, man, and string and shit. You know what I'm saying? And FedEx the shit to us, man.
But
again, go ahead and hit the video button, Jeff.
I did. I hit start video, and it says that the
Do it again.
All right,
there you go.
There you go. But yeah, like I said, man, I appreciate this. Right here, this is the beginning of it. I seen somebody comment earlier that talk doesn't change anything, but we have to talk to each other, to get on the same page, to understand that we do have like mindsets, but it may be just a different perception of what we talk about. I love this, man, and I hope we can do it again soon.
Yeah, man. Hey, we gotta talk, man. That's asinine to say that. Talk is,
how are you gonna talk?
That's asinine, man. I mean,
you need to talk about what you're gonna do before you do it. It's like you need to plan, strategize, and discuss what it is you're going to do. So talk by itself doesn't do anything, but you gotta talk about it. It's part.
You gotta converse, man. You gotta converse, man.
When you talk, you put it in the air.
You put it out to the universe, man.
Behind it. You put the wind behind it because you blew it out.
And I'm not saying that whoever said that was a dumb comment. I think they may have just not understood. Like, nobody's talking just to talk. We're talking.
They're a diplomat. You're a diplomat, boy. I see what
we're talking to inspire action and to drive action.
You're a diplomat. I'm a goddamn I'm a hardcore.
All right, y'all.
Asinine got nothing.
Hey, now, I'm gonna text you and talk
But-
shit about who said it. Like, what the hell they talking about?
Yo, this is the Three-Headed Monster podcast. Check us out on Podbean. Like again, I'm working, to try to get our YouTube up. But I think the next time we're gonna be on, we always do a Monday. So I actually don't forget. Did we pick a topic yet, Jerome? Monday?
No, not yet. We have 3. We ain't settled on one yet.
Oh yeah, but we're probably gonna have 4 because just being in this atmosphere right now, this frequency, I popped off 3 topics that I
Right.
really want to top on, and I can go ahead and tell you what the topics that I do want to talk about is I wanted to do a topic with all the females, with just females on the woman's role in America.
Right.
So that's something that I want. I mean, I started, but then I'm gonna just take myself out of the screen, and I want a bunch of women, young women, older women, and just break that down. That's one topic that one of them we're gonna do. Another one we're gonna do is the Harlem Renaissance and how important that aspect and the and how important that was, and how they tore it down. But just to break that down as a history. Another one is the Great Migration. And when I say Great Migration, is all the blacks that left from the South to go up north.
In
So-
the Midwest.
They went everywhere, man.
In the Midwest too.
They went the Midwest, West, up north. They went everywhere.
Like Iowa. People, hey, one black guy said he know black people's in Iowa. We've been there, man. We've been to Iowa. We've been to Iowa.
They're like Snoop people, all that. They from Arkansas, Mississippi, and stuff, and Carolinas, man. Like we went everywhere.
Everywhere, man.
Oh yeah.
And I don't forget there's another. By the time Monday come around, we'll probably come up with something else. That's just how me and Jerome, we be clicking in these. That's just how we do. So if y'all got a topic y'all want to talk about, put it out there, man. Send it inbox.
Comments.
Comment inbox. If you feel like you need to hit me on Facebook Messenger, I don't care. Hey, just let us know. And I mean, like I said, I appreciate you brothers being on, taking the time out on a Friday night. And that's another thing that I like is we Friday night and we sit here and we build it versus out there destroying ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. No doubt.
So, like I said, I appreciate it. Thanks, Jeff, for coming on. Hey, you came on and you didn't show no fear. I like that. He came on strong. But I mean,
Hey, that's why I said get him, B. I knew it. I knew it. I knew what he gonna bring to the table, man. I knew it.
And I appreciate Tut being on today. Tut wasn't feeling too well today, y'all. But Jeff pushed him. Jeff pushed him. So like I said, y'all, thank y'all, man. I appreciate it, man. And hey,
No doubt.
like I said, it's the Three-Headed Monster on Podbean. I probably will download this on the Podbean, but I'm saving this video for YouTube. So just keep looking out. We're gonna keep going. But we'll be on Monday at 8 o'clock.
Monday there.
Let me know, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Peace,
All right,
man.
then.
Peace, brothers.
Peace.
Yeah.
All right, gone.
Still recording.